I will be discussing the topic that you see on the screen, the cost of power. Cost of power is nothing else, but it can also mean the cost of using the electricity. So let us continue. In this lesson, we'll be looking at the following. We'll try to understand the following concepts: electrical power and energy consumption. And then secondly, then I will introduce you to the use of cost of power calculation formula based on power ratings and usage time. And lastly, I will do more practice example questions and try to show you the 6 ways that can be used to ask the cost of consumption in your examination. Okay, let us look at the concepts. We'll start with what we call power. Every electrical device has got a power which is labeled on it. For example, if you look at a bulb, you'll find some bulbs are rated 60 watts, others are rated 40 watts, and so on. The same, as long as a device uses electricity, it should be having a label of power. Now let's talk about what is power in essence. Power is the rate at which energy is used or produced at a specific time. We're talking about the usage of energy, meaning any electrical device that has got more power, it is going to use more energy, electrical energy, or it is going to produce more energy. If it is going to produce heat, then it is going to produce more heat. Power is measured in watts or kilowatts. Standard unit is kilowatt. Whenever you are given a unit as watt, it is standard that we change it to kilowatt. A higher wattage label means more power is being used or produced. I'm just giving you an example. If a kettle has got, we've got 2 kettles, the other one has got a less power wattage label, maybe 100, let's say 100 watts, for argument's sake, the other one has got 200. It means if you are going to boil water with this, the 2 kettles, the one with a higher wattage label will use more electricity and it will boil the water much faster because it is producing more heat. A 60-watt light bulb uses 60 watts of electrical power to produce light. Why is electrical power important? You can see here, I've just given you the common electrical devices that we use in our homes. A bulb uses 60 watts, and then the iron uses 1,200 watts, the cell phone 6 watts, the refrigerator, when it is connected, 120 watts, and then the TV is 200 watts. What does that mean? It means if all the appliances were connected maybe for 5 minutes, all of them, it means the iron will be the one that uses most electricity, and then the one that will be using the least electricity, obviously, it will be the cell phone. Why is electrical power important? Electrical power helps us to know how much energy our devices use and how much electricity we need to power our homes and all electrical gadgets. energy consumption of all the electrical devices I mentioned above. Let's talk about energy consumption. Remember, a watt can be labeled on a device. Energy consumption is not labeled. Energy consumption refers to the amount of energy that is used by different devices. It is like keeping track on how much electricity a household uses in a day. Energy is measured in joules or kilowatt hour. The more we use energy, the more it costs. That is why people try to save energy by reducing the amount of time we use electrical appliances. Ways to reduce energy consumption: you can turn off the devices when not in use. You can use energy efficient appliances like LED bulbs. You can unplug chargers or electronics when they are not in use. Learners, up to this stage, I've just mentioned those two concepts. Remember the first concept, which is power. Where do we find it? We find it on the electrical device itself. It is labeled. What about energy consumption? Energy consumption, it is not labeled on a device. It has to be calculated. Okay, let us move on. Now, we are going to use the cost of electricity calculation now. The formula that is used to determine the energy that is being used by any electrical device, it is the label that it is on the electrical device multiplied by the time you are going to use the electrical device. An example, if you are going to switch on a radio, you should look at the radio's power wattage label. And then you say, I'm going to play the radio for 10 minutes. Then it means you'll put 10 minutes here in terms of hours. Then you can determine the energy that is being produced by that radio. Obviously, it will be the sound energy. If it is an iron, it will be the heat energy. If it is a bulb, it will be the light energy. Formula for calculating costs of electricity. If you have calculated energy, it is easy now to actually know how much it costs in rands. Whatever answer you get from the calculation of energy, what do you do with it? You just look at the electricity voucher that you got when you buy electricity at the shop. They will tell you how much a kilowatt costs. Remember, energy is measured in kilowatt hour. Now at the shop, they will show you how much 1 kilowatt hour is costing in rands. So you put that amount there, multiply by the energy of the electrical device, then you can know if I play this radio for 10 minutes, how much it costs in rands. For example, if you use a 100-watt light bulb for 5 hours, it means you have consumed 0.5 kilowatt hour. Let's see it in the calculation. It is 100 watt. Remember, it's 100 watt. And the standard unit of power must be kilowatt, meaning we must first divide the 100 by 1,000 to get it into kilowatt hour. Then multiply by the time we connect the bulb. Then it will give us the energy that is produced by the bulb, which is the light energy. Now you remember we change watt to kilowatt by dividing by 1,000. If the unit price on your voucher of the electricity, let's say, for example, it's R2.40, 1 kilowatt hour costs R2.40. Then the cost of electricity for that light bulb to shine for 5 hours, it can be calculated. We go like cost is equal to the energy of the light bulb, which we have already calculated, multiply by the price of 1 kilowatt hour. And then the answer, it means it will cost that bulb, it will cost us R1.20 to shine it for 5 hours. If we shine it for 5 hours for 30 days, what will happen? It will be R1.20 multiplied by 30 days. Right. Let me just come to the summary now of these concepts. Remember, electrical power is the rate at which electrical energy is used by the device. It is measured in watts. 1 kilowatt is equal to 1,000 watts. The higher power rating implies high energy consumption. What about energy consumption? Total amount of energy used by an appliance over time. It is measured in kilowatt hours, and it can be calculated by the formula energy is equals to power multiplied by time. What about the cost? The cost can be calculated by energy multiplied by the cost per kilowatt, which is the one that you get from your voucher when you buy electricity. The cost depends on how much energy a device uses and the price of the electricity, you see. If the kilowatt is high, like that of an iron, it will cost more. It means energy is the cost is dependent on the energy or the kilowatt consumption of that device. If, for instance, our energy supplier, they increase the cost of kilowatt per 1 kilowatt in rents, it can also affect our cost of electricity on monthly basis. All right. Let me go on now to the last thing, which is very important now. When you have to do these calculations, there are many ways of that it can be asked, but I've just summarized only 6 ways. Okay. Let me just do these examples first. Calculate a 60-watt light bulb is used for 5 hours. If the cost of electricity is R1.80 per kilowatt, how much does it cost? The answer is the cost. So remember, we first have to calculate energy. First, we must convert watts into kilowatt. You see, it's 60 watt. It must be in kilowatt. It means we must divide by 1,000. It will give us 0.06 kilowatt. Then we use the energy equation that says energy is equals to power, which is now in watts 0.6, multiplied by the time the electrical device is connected, which is 5 hours. So when you multiply, then you can find the energy that is produced by that device, 0.3 kilowatt hour, or 0.3 kilowatt of energy that is being used by that device. Now the cost would be 0.3 kilowatt, which is the energy multiplied by the cost in rents. So when you multiply all that, it means it will cost 54 cents to do what? To light the bulb for 5 hours. So remember, we divide by 1,000 there, and then you substitute that in the energy formula. And then after getting the answer of the energy, you substitute it in the cost formula. Example number 2, a computer uses 120 watts. Remember, the moment you see 120 watts, it means you must divide by 1,000, because we want it in kilowatts, and it's on for 4 hours. Okay, the duration of time must be in 4 hours. If it's not in hours, it must be changed to hours. What is the weekly cost? So we have to calculate the cost. If the computer is running and now you are given the price, it costs R2.70 per kilowatt hour. The first thing that we do, conversion. We convert watts to kilowatt. What do? We say 120 divided by 1,000, then it gives us 0.2. See, 120 divided by 1,000, 0.12 kilowatt. Daily energy used, it equals to the power multiplied by the time. Okay, so we substitute that there. Then you multiply by the time, which is 4 hours, and then we get the answer of 0.48 kilowatt, which we also substitute in the cost formula. Now the question here is, what is the weekly cost? This is the daily cost, what we get. The energy, it must be for 7 days. So for 1 day, it's 0.48 energy that is being used. Then to know the energy that is used for a week, because the question here, it says weekly cost, it means we multiply by 7 days to get the weekly cost. Now the weekly energy that we get there, we put it in the cost formula to get the amount of money that it would cost to do it, to run the computer for a week, 4 hours per day. Now let me come to the different ways of the question being asked. It can be asked where you only have to calculate the energy, and it's straightforward when it's like that. An example here, it says a micro oven has a power rating of 1,200 watts. It runs for 30 minutes. And straightforward, it says calculate energy. So we know the energy, it says energy is power multiplied by time. But the only thing that you must remember, the watts must be converted into kilowatts. By doing what? By dividing by 1,000. The minutes must be converted into hours by dividing by 60. Those are standard units. So we convert the 1.2 watts, it becomes 1.2. Convert time to hours, it becomes 0.5 hours, which is half an hour. And then we can substitute now. 1.2 kilowatt multiplied by 0.5 hour, the answer is 0.6. That's one way. Now the second way, you can be asked, you remember the formula is actually energy multiplied by power multiplied by time. But this time, you can be asked for time. If you are asked for time, the formula now changes. It must be time is equals to energy divided by power. So the question here, it says a washing machine uses 2 kilowatt hour. The power rating is given to you. How many hours did it run? So you will have to change the formula around. It will be time equals to energy divided by power, which is the energy that we have there. It's already in kilowatts, is 2. The time already the power is already in kilowatts, which is 0.5. Then it will run for 4 hours. The other way of that the question can be asked, you can be asked to determine the power rating. Now the power rating will be energy divided by time. So it means a heater uses 6 kilowatt hour of energy in 3 hours. Find the power rating. Even if you are not given it, you have to determine what, if you go to that heater, what will be the power rating label on that heater. So its power is equals to energy divided by time. So the energy is already in kilowatts, 6 divided by 3 hours. So the answer there would be power rating 2 kilowatt hour. Now the fourth way, you can be asked to calculate the cost. The cost, remember, when you are asked to calculate the cost, usually the cost calculation is preceded, meaning the energy consumption calculation would come first and feed into the cost calculation. Obviously, meaning we'll have to calculate the energy first and then the cost. It says here, 100-watt light bulb is left for 20 hours. Calculate energy consumed. Obviously, it means everything is 100, it must be kilowatt, divided by 1,000, 20 hours, it's fine. So to do that, we'll say energy is equal to 100 watts divided by 1,000 is 0.1, multiplied by 20 hours. So the energy consumed is 2 kilowatt hour. What about the cost? It means we say the cost is equal to energy multiplied by the price per kilowatt, which is also given there. The cost at 250 per kilowatt. It means then we'll substitute the answer that we get from the energy formula and put it there. Then we multiply it by the price, which is already in rands, and then it becomes 5 rand. So the answer is 2 kilowatt and 5 rands. The last two ways of that being calculated, you can be asked for energy consumption from multiple devices. An example would be, you are told that a fridge has got 200 wattage label, and it is always on for 24 hours. A TV has got 150 wattage label, and it is only switched on in the evening, maybe for 5 hours. A kettle is used very shortly to boil the water, but it's a 2,000 watt kettle. In a day, it's about 15 minutes. Then it says calculate the total energy in kilowatts, meaning the energy of the devices. Okay, so we'll start with obviously we'll start with the conversions first. Ne? You see, it's a watt, it's a watt, it's a watt. There must be kilowatts. Here it's hour, which is fine. Here is hours, which is fine. Here is 15 minutes. It should be converted to hours. So we do the conversions for the powers. Fridge 200 watts will be 0.2 watts. TV 150 watts divided by 1,000 will be 0.15. The kettle from 2,000 watts, it will be 2 kilowatts. Now the other conversions are the times. The fridge, we leave it as it is. It's in hours. The time, it's in all for the TV is also 5 hours, but for the kettle it's 15 minutes. So you must say 15 minutes divided by 60 to give us in hours. So it's 0.25 hours. Then we must then calculate after for each. Now we are going to calculate energy for the fridge. We know it must be the power multiplied by the time. So we know the power is 0.2 for the fridge, and it is there on connected for 24 hours. So the energy consumed by the fridge is 4.8 kilowatts. What about the TV? The kilowatt is 0.15, and it is switched on for 5 hours, and which means it consumes the energy of 0.75 kilowatt. The kettle energy, remember the kettle, it was 2,000 watts, which is 2 kilowatts, and then it is switched on for 15 minutes, which is a quarter of an hour, 0.25. So it consumes this. So we've got all the energies for the different electrical devices. But the question says, calculate the total energy. It means we must add up all the energies of it means total energy is the energy consumed by the fridge, energy consumed by the TV, and the energy consumed by the kettle. So it is 4.8 plus 0.75 plus 0.5, and the answer would be 6.075. Learners, and lastly but not least, you can also calculate energy or even cost, whatever, or using the voucher that you use when you go to the shop to buy electricity. When you look at the voucher, there are things that you must look at this voucher. Number one, there's always written kilowatt hour, and we know that kilowatt hour is the energy that is supplied by Eskom. It's 48.3 kilowatt hour. So they are selling energy to us, and then our electrical devices are going to use the energy that we bought. So they are supplying us with energy of 48.3 kilowatts. At what price? For every kilowatt hour, they are charging us R1.80. So you can actually, from this, we've got the price, we've got the energy. You can always determine the cost. The cost, remember, it is the energy multiplied by the price. So from that slip, you can actually know if you multiply 48.3 by R1.80, you should get the cost. And there is a cost. The actual cost is actually energy supplied multiplied by the unit price. And then obviously, then they add 15% VAT to come to 100 Rand. But the actual cost is 86.90 Rand. That will be the end of the lesson. Thank you very much, Lenas, for joining this lesson today. Thank you.